little bit embarrassing seeing yourself up on video that big for a few minutes, but good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's really my honor to be here tonight and to be given this award by the BCIT Board of Governors. It truly is unbelievable, to be honest. Winning this award when there are really so many amazing people that have graduated from BCIT over the years, a little bit unbelievable, a little bit humbling, to be honest. And you might have noticed that I used the word winning. Well, my dad used to tell a story that from the age of 3 years old, I was a bit of a sports and game fanatic, quite obsessed to win at all costs. I actually cried when I lost just about every game. I cursed the winners, in a very, 4-year-old child sort of way. I absolutely laughed when I won and consoled the losers when I could. I actually thought at the age of 5 that I was a born leader, always coaching others to be better, my father said. Actually, my father said I browbeat them into better performance, but I kind of always thought that coaching sounds better and leads kind of into a management style. But I was truly driven, absolutely driven to win. Embarrassingly so. I was quite obnoxious most of the time, my parents told me, and my older brother would remind me today of that quite obnoxious. So I decided that at 15 years of age, I'm going to be a professional tennis player. That's where I can put my drive to win to good use. My mom and dad, being the ever-practical people that parents usually are, said maybe I might want to consider another career as well, just in case the tennis gig didn't work out. And maybe I should go into the hospitality business because I love to talk. I love to please people, and I love to work on winning teams. And there just happened to be a school that specialized in hospitality. That would be BCIT. And just that weekend, there happened to be an open house. So why don't we go and take a look? So off we went. It was pretty cool. I was quite impressed. There were kitchens and the dining room and the front desk of the hotel. And the best part, as you've heard before, it was only a 2-year program. So I could finish school in a hurry and get out in the world and start winning. Thought it sounded pretty good. So my future was set, 15 years of age. Many of you set your future at 15 years? How about 45 years later, and I'm still in the business? I think if I've been asked it once, maybe I've been asked it 1,000 times, how did I survive this crazy business for so many years? Well, the simple answer would be relentlessness, drive, ambition, and BCIT. But simple answers rarely come out of this mouth. Remember, I love to talk. So, how did I survive? Well, I think you have to go back to the start of BCIT of 35 hours of grueling classes a week, 25 hours of homework, 16 hours working to pay for school. This school was out to beat me. This school was out to kill my spirit. This school was torture. No social life. But I decided, no, I wasn't going to lose. I was going to somehow graduate. I did. You could probably say that's truly where my relentlessness and drive and passion was truly developed, I think you would have to say. So after graduation, worked for 10 years in Vancouver and Los Angeles. Out of the blue came this great opportunity to go work in Hong Kong. I said, you know what? I'm going to do this for 2 years, and then I'm going to come back to the most beautiful city in the whole world, my favorite, Vancouver. Somehow life had different plans for me. Spend the next 28 years being a gypsy, working around Asia. Maybe you could say that the accidental BCIT global citizen was born in me at that particular time. Let me tell you a little story. Remember, I love to talk, right? Tell you a little story about being a global citizen while I was working in Bali. Some of you here in British Columbia might think that some of your unions are a little bit hardcore. Well, let me tell you about the unions in Bali. When I was working there was this general manager in the hotel next door, and he had his union negotiations with his staff. They wanted a 21% salary increase in 2001. So, of course, he said, no way. So they picked him up, took him down to the swimming pool, threw him in the swimming pool with all his clothes on, right in front of all the guests. Wouldn't let him out till he signed the agreement. As luck would have it, I'm a bit of a crisis manager, unfortunately. Bad news follows me around. My union negotiations were the following week. 5 minutes into the discussion with the union chief, looks me dead in the eye, and he says, "Pa Kirk, have you ever been swimming with your clothes on? With rocks in your pockets?" I just have to thank BCIT. The human resources training, negotiation training I received, I never used it as much as I did that particular week. I stayed dry, too. I stayed dry. Well, that's the business life. What about personal life? I got 2 great children, Tyler and Jasmine. Found my ultimate life partner, Catherine. Drove my golf handicap down to 7 after finally having some time for it. Explored my entrepreneurial skills by developing a villa complex in Bali, 10 villas with a partner. I think I have to thank BCIT again. The multitasking that they taught us really comes in handy when you're trying to balance work, when you're trying to balance life, as probably all of you in this room know only too well. I'm just so happy tonight that Catherine and my mother Margaret, my son Tyler, and my brothers Dan and Sean, as well as Lisa and Tony, can be here to celebrate this evening. My father's looking down. Unfortunately, he passed in July this year, but we all know he's at the table with us tonight. Just one final thought on positivity. I saw this great hockey documentary earlier this year called Soul on Ice. And in it, there was one quote that resonated with me on positivity. If you think you can, you can. If you think you can't, you're right. And I realize that every day we get the opportunity to wake up and choose our attitude. Somehow, a few years ago, maybe 4 or 5 decades ago, I decided that mine was going to be a positive one. And so, thanks to a dose of passion for my career, and thanks to BCIT for an absolutely nurtured level of passion and relentlessness and ambition, after starting on this journey so many years ago, I'm still loving absolutely every minute of it. Thank you again, BCIT, for this wonderful award, and most importantly, for helping and preparing me to live this life in such a complex world. Thank you. Thank you.